Let's see. So anywho, whenever the radio is on, it has the speakers, the speaker outputs from the radio are going to a 4-pole double throw relay. There's a CD in there right now. So, and so what this works is, since the CB needs 8-ohm speakers, I took 2 of these, the front 2, this speaker and another speaker in there, which are the front left and right, and I'm putting them in series for when the CB's in use, but they're in parallel whenever the radio's used. So right now this relay is off for the radio, and when it is, these are your speaker wires here. They just connect directly up. The gray would be the gray wires here would be your left front, and the white is your right front, and then it connects those speakers in parallel. Now the other 2 are wired direct. There's no reason, because I don't use them for the CB. But whenever I go into CB mode, flip the switch, it turns the CB on, and then it also activates the relay. And what it does is it switches these 2 front speakers into series, so that I get 8 ohms for the CB. So I have 2 speakers. Well, I only need 1, but I needed the 8 ohms. So this wire is off, but that's nothing. That's nothing. So ignore that. Then for the mic, when I'm in the CB, the mic, what this the switch on here does is it activates this relay. Here, click a change. And what that is it simulates the same switches as the keyed in the CB mic. I mean, I'll put a schematic on there for this, but explaining how the wiring works. But you know, that's just an on-off switch, so I couldn't really duplicate a mic key with it. So I'm just powering this relay. It's got 12 volts positive wired to it, and then I just connect common with this switch, so there's no DC voltage running through the phone. You know, it's other than the speaker voltage. These relays at the moment are just part of an experiment that I'm working on there, where if I want to have it later on, when you plug in this lower one, it hooks up the speaker for the telephone, and so you can listen, but I've not got that far yet. So anyway, no, you can't see what channel you're on to CB. Well, you can actually, if you look from here, you can tell, but you know, if you slide it open. But I've got a mark on there of what I know where channel 4 is, which is what I usually use for off-road. And you can count clicks or whatever. But so it's not perfect in that manner, but it looks all right. You know, of course, you got the volume and everything. And then the antenna, oh, I meant to hook up that SWR meter. The antenna, see, I've got it plugged in here, but usually it goes in, it can fit right in here in the back of the casing. And then it's actually splits off into 2 wires. One's for the car stereo and one's for the CB. And it works. I've got excellent SWR. Let me see if I can hook that up right quick. So I may have to stand by while I do that. So let me hook up that. Be right back. And we're back. Okay, I hooked up an SWR meter to the antenna, and you can see when I key it, I mean, I've got real good, you know, 1-to-1. Now that's with the antenna fully extended here. You know, this is the MP48A, but I've got the poles. My top one is only 24 inches tall, so the entire antenna After going back and looking at the video, I realized I told you that the antenna was 95 inches, but it's 99.5 inches from the tip to here, and then it ends up being about 102 inches if you go to here. So a little correction. Another thing I want to mention is these jacks here, I've got that piece of canvas in there to insulate them from the metal. They cannot be grounded the way I'm doing this. I'm using the speaker wires. The speaker wires, common wire on the speaker, cannot be grounded to the chassis or it won't work. I wrestled with that for quite a while to try to get that to work. So if using it the way I did it, you got to make sure that those, because I'm using the ground pin as a conductor on this one, and if it's grounded, if the speaker won't work. Then I also want to say, like, you know, for the CB, it's easy to turn it on, adjust the volume and stuff. You know, the channels, there's a little tricky, and sometimes you got to open up the box. But the radio, you know, you can turn it on, but in the only way this is to adjust the volume, though, is you have to open up the case. But what I'm with this particular radio, you can get a remote for it. I don't have one yet, but about 15 bucks. So I'm just going to get a remote for the car stereo so that I can turn the volume up and change channels and stuff, and from outside, you know. So then I just need to turn it on. And like if you got one ahead, you could even get one that had Bluetooth and everything too. If you could do that, you know, that would open up your world quite a bit of what you could do with the unit. So I throw that in there, the top. And then there's your antenna wire, and it is grounded down here at the bottom. It won't work if it isn't grounded there, and I may clean that up later to try. Okay, so now you can see I've got the antenna pulled down, and I hit the mic key. Yeah, it's still about 2. I mean, it still works good, but it's not as efficient as when it's fully extended. But that antenna also works for the radio. You know, I mean, I've got them both tied together, and it's working really, really well. You know, like I said, you know, my next part of it's going to be trying to set this up so that I can put a speaker in there. But it had to be an 8-ohm speaker, but it's working good. Radio check, radio check. Here's my radio check, radio check, radio check. Let me see here. Oh, I got the volume down. Well, anyway, it's kind of hard to film this and do the phone, but you heard it earlier that it definitely works. So anyway, I'm going to draw up some schematics. So once again, stereo. Or CB off, CB. Check. Radio check, radio check. Oh, thing is off. Sorry. Radio check, radio check. Oh, radio check. Too close. Radio check. This one, radio check, radio check. So, schematics, and I'll post them on the 2A page if you want any more information on this. If you go to the cj2apage.com/forums and just do a search for SCR-610 or BC-659, you can find there's a lot of pictures and stuff of the build on this and everything. So, and you can get a hold of me on the 2A page if you want. I'm Jay Pett, once again, reporting for the cj2apage.com.